One.
Hi guys, now I want to show you one of the important features for a student about assignments, and that is receiving feedback on that assignment. So as you can see, if we look at my computer right now, I have I have 5 different tabs open because I want to show you all the steps involved in this, because there's stuff you don't typically see. So let's start with the fact that we've now submitted our assignment. That's the page we're currently on. You can see that I have the assignment up, first time in course, sample assignment upload, and I can see under submissions that I have submitted the assignment. If I want to resubmit the assignment, I can hit resubmit, and I will always grade the most recent submission. But this is where you can access that. Now, if we click on that, this is what you see as a student. As a student, this is your interface for it. You get an interface which allows you to see page by page. If you want to see thumbnails, scroll through your document. You can write comments and things. If you need to tell me something about your assignment submission and you forgot to when you actually submitted it, you can go in here, and under submission activity, the only people who can see whatever you type here are you, the student, and me. Your classmates can't see that. So if I needed to send my teacher a message about this particular assignment, maybe why it was late, or that they reminded me I could turn it in a little bit after the due date, I could give them a reminder there. If I had multiple submissions, meaning that I had multiple documents that I had uploaded, I would see that over here under revision 1, it would say revision 2, revision 3, and I could also see it over here. If I go under my name, student, Robin, this is the document I'm currently seeing. There's always going to be a little drop-down arrow next to it, and if there's just one document, you'll see it pop up right there. It's the same one you're already on. If there's 2 or 3, however many you submit, you'll see a whole list there, and you can click between them, and that happens sometimes. As a teacher, I see things a little bit differently. Let me click over here. When I go to the assignment in the course, I see a list of submissions, and right now I don't have anybody else in the course, it's just me. But if I had 30 students who had submitted this assignment, I would see their little images, and I'd see their name, and I'd see when they submitted it. If they submitted it before the due date, it's just going to say on time. If they submitted after the due date, it tells me late and gives me a timestamp on it. But they all pop up here for me. And then when I click in that student's assignment, it's going to look very similar to the student interface, but a few more features. Right now, it looks almost exactly the same. And that's because this is an ungraded assignment submission. If this were a graded assignment, there would be a number popping up there that I could type into. But some of the features I can use as a teacher to get feedback to my students, because that's ultimately what we want to give you. We don't want you to submit an assignment and forget about it. That's not the idea. Yeah, the idea is that you're always growing and you're always progressing. So how can I help you with that? And sometimes I will quite often use this post feature, especially if I see an error happening quite regularly. I had a student last year who rarely, if ever, capitalized the word I. So I might write a reminder in here. Please remember to capitalize the word I throughout your writing. And I post that, and sometimes it's a long post and sometimes it's a short post. But say I forgot there was something else I noticed, I can add another post. Another thing I can do as a teacher is I can circle things. For example, this has a hyperlink in it, so I can use this feature and I might circle that. I can cross things out if I think they're unnecessary. I can use this little Post-it note tool. And all these features work very similar to track changes in Microsoft Word. I have all these features available to use your document. Sometimes if I have students write things in Microsoft Word, I might actually download your document and use the track changes feature in Microsoft Word and then upload that document back to you. And that would end up over here under the post features. But as soon as those changes are made, and I've posted a grade in there and I've exited it, then the student, let's see if this will work for us, can go back, and I'd have to refresh this, and they can see what I've typed back to them. So this is refreshed, and the student can now see my reminder, please remember to capitalize the word I. Once this thing loads, the student can see what I circled, and they'll see the little Post-it note feature pop up in their actual document. Sorry, my internet's been a little slow today. And remember, these are the things, the comments we want you to be accessing and we want you to be using to improve your writing or the way you're presenting your ideas. Remember, it's all about communication and communicating effectively to, in this case, maybe an academic audience or maybe some other audience. And that document is loading. If the student had an assignment that received a grade, you would see that before. You don't even have to click in the assignment to see that particular grade. The grade feature is right up here and the number would appear here. Now, sometimes, especially in a large work, English teachers like to use these things called rubrics. Other teachers use them as well, but English is pretty well known for using rubrics. And usually what I do when a student gets a rubric is I provide that to them in advance. And you can see here that on this assignment from last school year, when I load a rubric into Schoology to grade an assignment, it automatically appears for the student. So as soon as the student gets the assignment, they can see how they could possibly be graded on it. And on this rubric, it's a excellent, good, satisfactory, or needs improvement. Now, those should be aligning with A, B, C, and D. Remember that in high school, a C is considered average. B is considered pretty good, meets all expectations and a little bit more. And an A is considered really above par. And I know that that frustrates some people that they want this top category to be meeting minimum requirements, but that's really a C or D range. C is usually meeting assignment expectations, a D is minimum requirements. But how that works with a rubric on Schoology is rather than just seeing a number in this grade area, there's a little box thing next to it. And what these do is the rubric pops up and the teacher just hits the rubric and the student gets their feedback that way. In this case, it's collapsed, but we can expand that. And the student can see exactly which criteria they met or did not meet. And it'll pop up in different colors in different areas, and then it will compute that at the bottom. So if you have an assignment that's been graded with a rubric, that's how you're going to see that. And that's how you see your feedback in Schoology, and I hope you use that and use it well.